Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
Denver, we need to talk. Because buried inside this Broncos rookie class is a running back who doesn't just look ready for the NFL, he looks like he's been here for 5 seasons already. And he's not the only one. There's a linebacker who broke a record held by an actual NFL superstar. There's a defensive tackle who was drafted despite the Broncos not even needing one. And there's a pair of tight ends so good at catching the football that scouts are putting them ahead of nearly every tight end in the entire draft class. Today, we're ranking every single rookie in this class by one thing and one thing only: who is going to actually change football games this season. Not who looked good in shorts, not who has the most hype, who is going to walk onto that field and make Sean Payton's offense or Vance Joseph's defense a little bit scarier the moment their number gets called. Buckle up, because this list has some surprises, and the number one player might not be who you think. Before we get into it, if you're new here, this is Broncos, your home for daily Broncos breakdowns, training camp coverage, and everything orange and blue. Camp is already underway, and if you want to be first in line for every update, every practice report, and every roster shakeup, hit that subscribe button right now and smash the like on this video. It genuinely helps this channel grow, and it takes you all of 2 seconds. Okay, let's get into the rankings. Starting things off at number 7, we've got offensive lineman Cage Casey, Denver's 4th-round steal out of the Mountain West Conference. Now let's be honest with each other. Casey is probably not playing significant snaps this season, and that's not an insult, that's just math. The Broncos were just graded as the number 1 offensive line in the entire National Football League. When you already have Garrett Bowles, Ben Powers, Quinn Miners, Alex Paljewski, and Mike McGlinchey holding down the fort, a rookie lineman isn't walking in and taking a job. Barring a significant injury, Casey is going to spend this season doing something incredibly valuable that doesn't show up on Sundays: learning. And here's why Denver is thrilled to have him waiting in the wings. Last season, Casey allowed a pressure rate of just over 2%, the best mark of any left tackle in the entire Mountain West Conference. 0 penalties. 0. That's the kind of quiet, disciplined tape that makes offensive line coaches fall in love. Casey has the versatility to kick inside to guard, and plenty of people around the building believe he could eventually slide in at left guard once Ben Powers' contract situation plays out. Imagine a player who was already the conference's cleanest pass protector at tackle, moving inside to a shorter, easier space to defend. That's the sneaky upside here. He may not play much in 2026, but the tape says this is a name you'll be hearing plenty of in 2027 and beyond. Coming in at number 6, we've got tight end Justin July, Denver's 5th-round pick out of NC State. July is stepping into a room where Evan Engram is the unquestioned starter, and there's no getting around that reality this year. Engram has the experience, the tenure, and right now he is simply the better player. But here's the twist that should get Broncos fans excited for the future. According to Pro Football Network, July and fellow rookie tight end Dallin Bentley were rated as having the most elite hands in the entire 2026 tight end class. Not just on the Broncos, in the whole draft. Think about that for a second. Sean Payton and George Payton had their pick of tight end prospects, and they walked away with 2 guys graded above nearly everybody else at the position for one specific, glorious skill: not dropping the football. Jolie's game is built on a deep route tree and phenomenal work at the top of his routes, even if his separation off the line still needs some polish. He's a weapon in contested catch situations, he barely dropped a pass all of last season, and he's got the alignment versatility to line up in the slot or with his hand in the dirt. Don't expect him to be featured every single snap, but expect him to show up in red zone packages and 5-wide sets where his hands become the difference between a stalled drive and a touchdown. Right behind him at number 5 is the other half of that elite hands tandem tight end Dallin Bentley, Denver's 7th-round pick out of Utah. Bentley climbs just ahead of July here because of his ability to line up in line more consistently, which should translate to more total snaps early in the season. This is a player who turned heads at the Shrine Bowl and whose production spiked in his final college season. Combined with July, these two tight ends recorded a grand total of just 2 dropped passes between them last year. 2 for an entire season. Bentley tested off the charts athletically. He's silky in his movement, he can operate from the slot or in line, and he's fast enough to threaten a defense vertically. Expect him to see the field most often in heavier personnel groupings, the kind of 12 and 13 personnel packages Sean Payton loves to deploy in the red zone, where an extra reliable set of hands can be the difference maker in a game that comes down to inches. So tell us in the comments right now, which rookie do you think ends up making the biggest impact this season? We want to know your pick before we get to ours. Moving over to the defensive side of the football, safety Miles Scott checks in at number 4. Denver drafted Scott out of Illinois, and he's stepping into a role that feels almost tailor-made for immediate playing time behind Talanoa Hufanga and Brandon Jones. Last season, Denver's backup safety played over 170 total snaps once you factor in special teams work, and that door is wide open again in 2026. Scott isn't just a special teamer waiting for his shot either. This is a former wide receiver who converted to safety, which means he sees routes and reads receivers' eyes in a way that few defensive backs naturally can. He was a 2-time collegiate team captain, he earned honorable mention All Big Ten honors, and his college numbers speak for themselves. 7 pass breakups, 4 tackles for loss, 3 interceptions, and a season that had his entire secondary humming. Scott is still a raw player in some respects, but the ball skills and football IQ are undeniable. Realistically, this looks like a player who carves out 5 to 10 snaps a game between rotational safety reps and special teams duty, with real potential to snag an interception or 2 along the way. Don't be shocked if a big turnover swings a game in Denver's favor this year, and don't be shocked if it's Miles Scott's name attached to it. Now we're into the top 3, and this is where the class gets genuinely exciting. At number 3, defensive tackle Tyler Onyedim, Denver's first actual selection of the entire 2026 draft, taken in the 3rd round out of Texas A&M by way of Iowa State. This felt like a surprising pick at the time, considering how deep Denver already was on the defensive line, but it makes a lot more sense once you watch the tape. Onyedim is walking into a genuine rotation. Zach Allen, DJ, Jones, Malcolm Roach, Syvion Jones, and now Onyedim are all going to be cycling through that defensive front. And there's a real chance he ends up as a candidate to start in place of departed lineman John Franklin Myers before the year is out. What makes Onyedim special is his sheer athletic profile. He tested as one of the most explosive interior defensive linemen in this class, with a violent first step and long arms that let him beat blockers into gaps before they even know what's happening. His bread and butter is stopping the run, and his tackle for loss rate last season was elite. Reports out of training camp already have veteran nose tackle DJ Jones raving about him, and Onyedim has reportedly been exceeding expectations early. This is a player who could rotate in everywhere from the nose to the edge of the interior, and the more reps he gets, the more this defense is going to feel his presence. Number 2 on this list is a player with maybe the single wildest resum in this entire draft class, linebacker Red Murdoch, Denver's 7th-round pick out of Buffalo, and this year's Mr. Irrelevant as the final selection of the entire draft. Do not let that label fool you. Murdoch plays with an old-school, heavy-handed mentality. The kind of throwback linebacker who wants to meet you in the gap and find out who wants it more. And when it comes to one specific brutal skill, nobody in the history of college football has ever done it better. Murdoch set the NCAA all-time record with 17 career forced fumbles, breaking a mark that had stood since it was set by none other than superstar NFL pass rusher Khalil Mack. Read that again. A seventh-round pick just broke a record held by a future Hall of Famer. In his final college season alone, Murdoch racked up 142 tackles, 13.5 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, and 6 more forced fumbles, earning second-team All-American honors along the way. Denver's front office has already been raving about him, with general manager George Patton calling him a tackling machine after the draft. Now, the scouting concerns are real. His closing speed needs work, and his recovery and coverage isn't where it needs to be yet. But this is a punishing, high-effort linebacker who forces turnovers better than literally any player in the sport's history, and turnovers win football games. Don't be surprised if, a few weeks into the season, Murdoch starts carving out real rotational snaps alongside Alex Singleton and Justin Strnad. A seventh-round pick with a record-breaking motor is exactly the kind of player who outperforms his draft slot. And Denver may have found a diamond in the rough at the very last pick of the entire draft, which brings us to the number 1 most impactful rookie on the entire Denver Broncos roster. And it isn't particularly close. Running back Jonah Coleman. Denver fans, get ready, because this is the name you are going to be shouting from the rafters by mid-season. Coleman is a creative, bruising, downhill runner who thrives the moment a play breaks down. His vision is elite, his feet are quick and in sync, and his ability to generate yardage after contact might be the best trait in this entire rookie class, regardless of position. Look at these numbers. Last season, more than a third of his carries resulted in either a first down or a touchdown, tops in his entire draft class. 71% of his rushing yards came after first contact, also the best mark in his class. When he caught the ball out of the backfield, he averaged over 12 yards after the catch, again, the best in his class. And through all of that punishment, all of those broken tackles, he fumbled just once in his entire college career and dropped only 1 pass. He's even considered an outstanding pass blocker, a trait that gets rookie running backs on the field faster than almost anything else. Head coach Sean Payton has already been singing his praises during training camp, saying Coleman doesn't even look like a rookie out there. The comparison being thrown around is J.K. Dobbins, a similarly explosive, contact-punishing back who was drafted to eventually take over as the lead ball carrier. That is exactly the plan here. While every other rookie on this list projects for a role, a package, or a rotational share of snaps, Jonah Coleman projects to win football games outright. When the Broncos need 4 yards on 3rd and 3, when they need a spark in the 4th quarter, when they need someone to change the entire complexion of a drive, this is the rookie who's going to be doing it. That's why, out of this entire class, Coleman stands alone at number 1. So there you have it, Broncos country. 7 rookies, 7 very different paths to impact, and 1 running back who looks like he's about to become the story of the season. From Cage Casey quietly developing behind the league's best offensive line, to Justin Joly and Dallin Bentley bringing elite hands to the tight end room, to Miles Scott's ball skills in the secondary, to Tyler Onyedim's disruptive presence up front, to Red Murdoch's record-breaking ball-punching motor at linebacker, and finally to Jonah Coleman potentially becoming this offense's next explosive weapon. This rookie class has a chance to be one of the most impactful in recent Denver history. Now it's your turn. Drop a comment and tell us which one of these rookies you think ends up surprising everybody the most this season. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you never miss a single update throughout training camp and the entire 2026 season. This is Broncos country, and we will see you in the next one.